It was a quiet early morning in the spring of 1992, in a small, close-knit town in the American Midwest. The kind of place where faith, routine, and trust shaped everyday life. Inside a women's Islamic boarding residence connected to a religious institute, a 21-year-old student named Aisha Rahman woke before dawn. Aisha was known as disciplined, kind, and deeply devoted to her studies and faith. She had moved there to pursue religious education while completing her college coursework. With exams approaching, she had set an alarm to wake up around 4 a.m., hoping to study in peace before morning prayers. Several residents later recalled seeing her awake, calm, and focused. She exchanged quiet greetings, sat with her books, and then stepped away briefly, likely to get water or wash her face to stay alert. That was the last time anyone saw Aisha alive. When the other women woke later that morning, something felt wrong. Aisha hadn't returned. In the kitchen, they noticed disturbing details: a refrigerator door left open, water spilled across the floor, a bottle without its cap, and one of Aisha's slippers lying near the sink. Panic began to spread. As the residents searched the compound, they found Aisha's second slipper near a well behind the building. When someone looked inside, their worst fear became reality. Aisha's body was floating below. Emergency services arrived. Police secured the scene. Aisha's body was recovered as the community stood in shock. Just hours earlier, she had been alive, studying, planning, hopeful. Now, everything was gone. The initial investigation moved quickly, but not carefully. Authorities labeled the death a suicide by drowning, despite visible head injuries. Cuts and bruises were noted but dismissed. The official report raised immediate questions. Why would someone wake early to study only to end their life? Why were there signs of struggle? Why was the scene so chaotic? The explanation didn't sit right with anyone. Community leaders, students, activists, and Aisha's family demanded answers. Pressure grew. The case was transferred from local police to a state investigation unit and later to federal investigators. Yet time worked against the truth. Aisha had already been buried. Her clothing, potential evidence, was destroyed. Key documentation was incomplete. Each new investigation ended the same way. Suspicion of murder, but no identifiable suspect. Years passed. Rumors spread. Whispers of powerful people. Claims of internal pressure to keep the case quiet. At one point, a senior investigator publicly admitted he was pushed to rule the death a suicide, and resigned from his job because of it. The case became one of the most controversial unsolved deaths in the region. Then, more than a decade later, something unexpected happened. A man named Rashid Malik, a former petty thief, came forward. Back in 1992, Rashid had been stealing scrap metal from rooftops late at night to survive. On the same night Aisha died, he claimed he had entered the institute grounds, only to witness something that haunted him for years. He said he saw 3 religious authority figures on the property at an hour they should not have been there, 2 male instructors and a female supervisor. Their presence made no sense. Rashid stayed silent out of fear. He was a criminal. No one would believe him. But when he read about Aisha's death, guilt followed him for decades. When he finally spoke, authorities initially tried to frame him for the murder. He was jailed, pressured, threatened, and even offered money and protection if he confessed. He refused. His testimony didn't break. That refusal changed everything. Investigators revisited old evidence. Witnesses were re-interviewed. Surveillance gaps were re-examined. Forensic experts reassessed injuries that had been ignored years earlier. Advanced testing revealed signs of blunt force trauma before drowning. Aisha hadn't jumped. She had been silenced. Eventually, covert interrogation techniques and digital analysis revealed the truth. Aisha had accidentally walked into a private, forbidden encounter involving those authority figures. When she tried to flee, she was attacked. A blow to the head stunned her. Panicked and desperate, they threw her into the well to cover it up. Justice didn't come quickly. But in December 2020, 28 years later, 2 of the responsible individuals were convicted and sentenced to life in prison. The court cited Rashid's unwavering testimony, forensic reevaluation, and evidence tampering as key factors. A petty thief, once ignored, threatened, and dismissed, became the reason the truth finally surfaced. Aisha Rahman never got to finish her studies. She never got to live the life she was building. But her story forced a system to confront its failures. And her case leaves us with a powerful lesson. Faith without accountability is dangerous. Authority without transparency breeds corruption. And truth, no matter how long it's buried, has a way of demanding to be heard. Sometimes, justice doesn't arrive when it should. But when one person refuses to lie, even decades later, the truth can still win.